No, deve essere verde. No, guarda, aspettavo per dopo. Buongiorno a tutte e tutti.
Welcome, everyone.
Iniziamo.
We are ready to start.
Stiamo aspettando ancora un gruppo
We are
di
waiting
ragazzi,
for another class of students, but we can start.
per,
It's about time.
English-speaking people.
A reminder.
Access your Zoom connection. Okay.
Yes.
Quindi sono molto contenta.
I'm very happy and honored to be here today because we can. This is the end day of our project, Innovation Garage of Garages. We have been working on this project since December 2020 until today. I'm very proud and happy. We will have time to explain what we have been working on, electric cars, engines, mobility. For initial greetings, the head teacher, Alessia, teacher and head teacher for Gadda in Langhirano High School, and she represents today the school institutions for Parma. Thanks for inviting me. I'm very happy and honored to be here today. And Maurizio Bocelli, the teacher and the person in charge of the region for Parma and Piacenza, who invited me to come here for this international project. A project that has a long history, not just this specific project, but all the projects that Cisita and Unione Parmense Industriale with the local schools have been dealing with. Training centers, international projects like this one. Europe, for a long time, has been dealing with how to organize teachings, how to develop skills. And I would like to start with the LoRa White Book. It comes from the European world, and the goal of this book was to define the goals of the world of work, the market of work. And this book is a starting point also for training centers, for how to create training for. So how are they connected, the world of work and the world of training, vocational centers? How can they be together? How can we develop as Europe? How can we develop training that is relevant for work, for the world of work? There is an important sentence that we can see in this book. People need skills, high-level skills, to be able to be active in the world of the market for today and tomorrow. An active position. What does it mean, active? What does it mean? Personal growth or just technical skills? If we think about schools don't just deal with skills to students for what they will have to do once they start working. The mission of schools is the one of helping students to develop their skills as people, the human side of who they will be as people. Often, the two, technical skills and the human side of the growth of the students, this has got to do also the world of work. Once students work in a company, also this side, the growth of the person, needs to be taken into account. An active role, both when students are in schools and once they start working. Often, we talk about work-based learning. This is something many European countries have analyzed based on training connected to the world of work. For example, internships or so schools who develop these projects. So the connection between schools and companies So some hours that students spend in companies as part of their training in the school is the first model of this idea comes from Germany, dual training. This helps not just to help people to be ready to work once they start working, because if you have the skills required by the company, it's easier for you to start working because I'm ready for the technical side.
Ma in realtà se si concludesse solo in questo.
If these were the only point to be taken into account, it would be quite poor, because that would be dealing with only just the technical side of the matter. But we are talking about people. So where do we put the growth of the person? And actually, it has been seen that we can look at the work-related learning. So again, the connection between schools and companies, but from a different angle. What does it mean? What does this imply? A reduction of it takes into account a 360-degree angle on the student. And this is important, not just for what they learn in schools, but also what they do in the companies. The issue of school abandonment, so when students decide to leave school before the age of 16, is something all countries have to deal with. But actually, if I don't finish my program, we can use the word failure. But whose failure is that? The failure of the student. But it's not really just that. Also, the entire school system can think of failure. So what is the failure of the school system? Not being able to understand and deal with the problems that the student showed. And this is a problem, an issue that both Europe and in specific Italy, we have been dealing with and we are dealing with. Training connected to companies has a history. And in specific, what in Italian, in the Renaissance, we call bottega, so actual workshops. Great artists used to learn through the teachings of a person, so basically spending time with the master. And this was not just a step connected to the skills, but also understanding if that can be my passion for my entire life. And so determine our futures, the future of the students. Today, we do not ask these questions. Nobody asks these questions. So how can we keep things together? We no longer ask this question. Now the question is how? What system? How can we incorporate the world of work inside our schools and training centers? How can we understand? How can we develop passion? Today's question is no longer whether to do it or not, but how to do it. All countries, we all ask each other this question. How? How do we do it? And we have been developing different systems to answer these questions. And we can see that through the activities that all teachers create in their own schools. So thanks again for sharing what you have been doing with this project. Thanks for today. Thank you. Thank you, our head teacher, and the entire school system of Provincia of Parma for supporting the project and the invitation to join us for the greetings. I hope you can all hear well. Now we are ready to get into our project. So what is this project, Innovation Garage of Garages, that we have been working on for a long time, for 2.5 years? It's a strategic partnership. So what does it mean? It means an international group of schools and companies working together on a specific topic which relevant in today's world, which is green competencies, green skills for mobility and transportation. Who are we? Cisita is the leader of the project, and we are a training center working both for schools and vocational schools and companies, local companies. My name is Serena Gerboni. Some of the students here today do not know who I am. Some schools are from the city of Parma, and some other schools come from nearby towns. So one of your schools has been working with me on another project, like, for example, teacher Martini on holograms. So I'm the same person. I deal with international programs for Cisita. And in specific, as Cisita tries to connect the needs of what companies, local companies need, and local schools, vocational schools, and technical schools. 4 countries together: Italy, Sweden, Lithuania, and Holland. Modena School on and Vocational and Technical Center Ferrari in Maranello. So not just schools based in Parma, with courses, specific courses for mechanical and car repair. For Sweden, we have Volvo trucks, as in fact, trucks, and they deal with how to turn trucks into electric trucks, and the entire line. Göteborg Technical College, which is a technical school similar to ITIS, Italian ITIS, dedicated to mechanics, but also the entire 4.0 industry. For Lithuania, we have a high school, automotive high school in Vilnius, capital city, and Müller Auto, which is the main car dealer for Audi and Volkswagen for the entire Lithuania, providing the entire assistance and everything consumers might need for electric cars. And Innovan for the Netherlands, Rockmidden, Netherlands. Rockmidden is a school, a huge school with 20,000 students or even more, divided into different colleges. And in specific, we have been working with Automotive College, where courses, different courses, several courses are provided, not just for high schools, but also to develop specific schools. Near Utrecht, where they provide also specific training, and actually Emilia Motor Valley work with them in specific for safety of electric and hybrid motors. Together, we wanted to put together companies and schools to develop programs, experimental programs, to introduce motor engines and hybrid motors, or to improve the courses where, for example, in Sweden and Lithuania, where they are already dealing with this topic, hybrid and electric motors. We started in 2020, during COVID, during lockdown, where we started with this Erasmus project, where we were invited to develop projects like ours in order to face sustainability issues. We started with Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations, which you might be familiar with. This is sustainability in general, not just climate change, not just the environment, but also through innovation and how companies and schools deal with these topics, make sure that everyone within society can contribute to develop sustainability. In specific, we have been dealing with mobility and transportation in this project. 11 million people all over European Union work in this sector, 11 million people, in different positions: logistics, agriculture, roadworks, building sites, construction sites. But also we can take into account commuters, so people who move, have to move every day to and from home, to go to school, to go to the university, using vehicles. All of this together is a very important sector for the economy, but up until now, it's been responsible for high emissions in terms of CO2 and all the effects that we are familiar with. So air pollution, traffic, air and noise pollution, urban congestion, and the quality of the air that we breathe. In 2019, Europe, the European Commission, with EU Green Deal, had decided for challenging objectives. And this is a very important document which puts limitations to the world of production, to companies. 2030, at least 50% of electric vehicles in EU, all over the European Union, needs to be electric or hybrid. So 2030, 50%. So no longer the traditional engine cars. And 2050, 90% electric vehicles in EU. You might have heard at the end of 2022 and early 2023 that the European Parliament banning sale of petrol and diesel cars, so traditional, from 2035. So from 2035, it will no longer be able to buy new petrol and diesel cars. You will still be able to use an existing one, but you will no longer be able to buy a new one because it will not be possible to sell these kind of vehicles. So this is surely revolutionizing the entire sector. Between 2030 and 2050, there will be more and more electric engines and hybrid around. And so what about going to the mechanic? So how do we need to shift our idea of going to the mechanic? Because the problems cars will have different kinds of problems. So, for example, auto-diagnostic, software automatically updating or signaling the driver the need to go to the mechanic, so-called, for maintenance. So more and more, so more and more vehicles will be needed with the new system. And this creates a huge challenge for us. As the head teacher a few minutes ago mentioned, how can we develop new skills for existing workers who did not receive training for electric engines, electric or hybrid cars? So how can we help them create the skills needed for the new system, the electric system? Because the entire process is completely different. So how do we train them? Let's get into batteries, the cycle of life of a battery, and what happens when the battery, you can no longer use it. Who and how are they going to deal with all of this? The entire system of the entire system of the software within the car. We have faced all of this in our project. Please visit our website, but also, and above all, our YouTube channel that we have created. I would like to show you a video now. There are many videos, and you can find them on this YouTube channel. You will find at least 25 videos, maybe 22 now, but there at least 25 shortly. And the teachers and students involved in the project have created. I would like to show you one video now about safety. It's a short video, but it's a very impactful video, useful to follow for someone like me who has no knowledge on this sector. And the video will show you the safety needed for this kind of system. Novam and Rockmitten. So our Dutch partners. And is about how, the video talks about how or shows how. Safety protocols. Yes, you can read. We were there. So I was there. I saw all of this. We were in this workshop and we saw all of this. These two students are really good and they showed us and they explained to me personally how everything works. They showed us they showed us how to check that everything is fine, that everything was fine, to make sure there were no damages that you can see, that you can easily see. Then they connected the systems to check the onboard diagnostic. And then they told us how important it is to create a safety area around the electric car. So you need to show that you are working on this vehicle. It's very important to do so because of high voltage works are in progress. You need to put the key of the car away at least 5 meters far from the car to avoid possible problems. The next step is disconnecting. The disconnection of the battery, 12-volt battery, to remove a negative battery cable from the small battery to make sure it's disconnected. And these are procedures very important, and they played a trick on me because while I was checking gloves, and these are rubber gloves important to be used by the operator to create isolation. And you need to check every time you use them, you need to check there are no holes. And he gave me a glove with a hole to make sure I would see, but I did. And it was a nice way to show me how important it is and to make sure there are no holes in the glove to avoid problems. Everything is fine, as you can see. So he can wear the gloves and he can start working on the car. And he removes the service plug from the battery. So the system is disconnected. But you need to wait 10 minutes for this company. Each car is different to make sure the system is dead. And here they are checking. They removed the parts to make sure it's zero. Yes. So this was the video. So please visit the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, and you can find a whole series of videos explaining also other steps, so how to remove the battery, but also here you can see a lesson, you can watch a lesson from our Göteborg partner on the dangers of the modules for high voltage batteries. But you can also find videos on how to check possible problems inside the system, inside batteries, and also autonomous as assisted driving systems. In Italy, autonomous driving systems 100% are not allowed, but as you might know, there are different stages, different steps, as these are systems that help the driver to understand, I don't know, obstacles while parking, alert level, or of the driver. So, if you visit our website, you will be able to watch these videos. They are either in English with subtitles, or if they're in Italian, they will have English subtitles for the 3 missing videos. So these videos are very useful to understand all the most important steps, also for who has never been studying or is not familiar with these systems. Also for me, for example, I come from a different background, but I was able to understand what is crucial to know, what is important to know, for safety, for example. Safety first. Safety first, because batteries, high voltage batteries with such a high voltage are, can be, if you make a mistake, then there's no coming back, basically. So as our Swedish friends showed us, if you make a mistake, it could be the last time your last mistake, basically. So be careful. You need to know what you're doing, basically, to manage this kind of, to do these kind of things. So this is all for me. I'm very happy and honored to introduce the next speakers. They all come from companies, and this is to make sure you can understand this topic. The first speaker, and I'm very happy to invite him on stage, is Marco Righi from Flash Battery, and he's the founder and CEO of this company from Sant'Ilario near Parma, and they produce and sell lithium batteries. Lithium batteries.
Perfetto.
Perfect.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Hello, everybody. I can thank Cisita for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. We can start with a short video where you can understand what we do. We are Flash Battery, and what our mission is.
Flash Battery designs and manufactures lithium batteries for industrial machinery and vehicle manufacturers in need of custom solutions. fast charge technology can charge to 50% capacity in just 25 minutes. We analyze your needs and design the highest performance solution custom-made for your application. We follow our customers from prototype design to mass production and provide all the required certifications. Thanks to remote control and high reliability, you will no longer have to worry about maintenance. Vibration, crushing, and fire tests are just some of the tests we perform to ensure safe, type-approved products that respond to automotive standards. We have the best battery in the industry because it features the highest power balancing system. The electronics equalize the charge level of every cell through passive and active balancing, both when charging and discharging. The high performance of combined balancing is ensured by proprietary electronics. Every single minute, our flash data center is collecting the operating data of our batteries installed in 54 countries worldwide. The data is processed daily, preventing anomalies and drastically reducing downtime. Flash Battery was born out of the passion of two friends for electronics and technology. That passion is still alive and continues to breathe new life into our batteries. Flash Battery, the best energy for the machines of tomorrow.
Okay.
I can imagine you might have seen what we deal with, what we do. Our customers are producers of trucks, mainly not just car producers. We were born in 2012. The garage in the video was mine, so I'm one of the two friends. As you can see, there's myself and my friend. We both had this passion for electronics. I studied in Parma, like you. Maybe if ETS is here, that's where I studied, which is a technical vocational school. Once we saw the cells, in lithium cells, in 2009, we understood the potential for the future, how they could change the world for the future. You know that electric motors, electric engines, have been around for about 10 years, but the limit up until a few years ago for the transition, for the electric transition, was the battery. So the battery was a very heavy container and very, very big. But with lithium, everything changed. When in Europe, the first lithium batteries arrived, nobody was happy because they had problems, reliability problems and safety problems. But we saw the potential, and we saw the 3 times longer life with 3 times smaller volume could change everything. So we had some questions. So what was the problem of these batteries? And the answer was the electronic controlling the cells, which couldn't make them work properly. So we started from my garage to develop a different system. And nowadays, this is a system we don't have time to show everything connected to the technology that we have the patent for, the high voltage, as you saw in the video. This makes the difference. Together with other specific features, one for all is how we can customize everything for our customers. So not just the cell, we have to buy it, and it comes from Asia, but tomorrow we might be able to develop it here as well. But Flash Battery is in charge of the development, the entire process of development. So what are our sectors? We started with the ones that were ready for us, automated guided vehicles. So they are the vehicles that are already much more expensive than a traditional vehicle. They were the first who could introduce this technology to make sure people with these vehicles had nothing to do, or as little as possible to do. If we have time, I will show you a Barilla company, a video for Barilla company, where they have 100 of these vehicles and they use our batteries. And they really use the lithium batteries because they work 24 hours a day, seven days a week. And they manage to get to the end-of-life battery after 5-7 years. But normally it doesn't happen on electric vehicles because the battery has a longer life than the vehicle. Other customers we have or situations are electric vehicles for delivery in city centers and similar. And last is company industrial machines, and this is developing. This is a sector that is developing. As you can see, it's construction vehicles, but this category is much bigger. All the works that you can imagine, and this developing sector. Our headquarters are here in Sant'Ilario d'Enza, which is a few kilometers from here. But we also have a branch in the United States. We have developed more than 550 different models because for every application, we can give the best battery possible for that specific need. And this is the difference we can make. So the great companies developing batteries, they want to create standard batteries, but we want to have a different approach, basically create a battery for the customer. Our Chicago branch in the United States is for sales, to support our clients. We sell in Europe, but our clients are producers and they export, so we have to match that. This is our growth from 2012 until today. Before starting this adventure, I actually work in Cisita, and I was in sales. I knew it was a step in my life, but it was. I had a great experience here in Cisita. Today, as you can see in the slide, 90 people end of 2020. By the end of the year, we will be more than 100, and this is our revenues. This is sales revenue. Yes, we are involved. Let's aside certifications or ISO. We deal with the most important EU projects. IPCEI, maybe it's the most important project organized by the European Union, leader for the new technologies of in Europe, and we are one of the 15 companies involved in the project. This is the headquarters. It's a quick video that shows our videos, our offices. We have tried to balance between work and productive life, quality and life, to make sure that people working for us have a great quality of life. So this is 2020 our company, but we are already expanding. The blue section will start next month. We will have new lines, automated new lines you cannot see it here, for a laser welding process. You know that automotive are moving from, are changing the system of the battery, but companies are still going to use modules, so we are trying to have both. So we want to create a module for this other system, for pack battery. I might show you, 1 second, what you can see inside our battery pack, which is maybe different from automotive. Flash battery approach. This is our approach. We buy the cell, we develop the electronic side and the mechanic for the needs of the client, customer. This is also depending on the chassis of the vehicle, and we follow the client from the prototype to the pre-series and production with all the certificates needed, certification needed. Another important point is what we have developed after, which is the analysis, predictive analysis. We are pushing and focusing on this. So sending data, every day sending data, info on the battery. So we started off with simple algorithms. If the battery goes over this certain tension, if the temperature is such and such. So we are using algorithms, AI algorithms, to make sure the system can tell us the possible problems of the batteries, so that we can make interventions, solve remote problems remotely to improve the integration. Customize batteries. Let me show you some examples of applications. As I told you before, concrete truck, hybrid concrete truck. So these vehicles are specific for industries, and they are 100% electric to avoid noise, to avoid emissions during the use of these machines. We have developed these also with standard automotive systems, with quick, so the CCS combo plug-in. These are industrial vehicles again. These are indoor vehicles, that companies use to move goods. So applications heavy. So you can read on the slide the specifications. Here we can talk about agriculture. So this is like a tractor, then feed mixer for. You can see all the different parts of this vehicle, and this is 100% electric. It's not hybrid. So it's for farming. Electric utility vehicles, different types. This is what I mentioned before, last mile delivery for city centers, or electric street sweeper. In Parma, you might be familiar with Tulevo. And so I'm here to show you also how data is important. So we started off with more than 80 kilowatt battery. Then with pre-series, we noticed that every time the machine was used, 40–50% of the battery was not used. So we created 3-level batteries, batteries that match the need of the vehicle. Automatic laser guided. So this is to show you the different applications. So this is the Barilla video I mentioned to you before. No, sorry, I made a mistake. Another video. So this is RGB. No.
Okay.
This is to show you how these vehicles work, machines work. It's automated drive. They create no congestion, and they have a task to perform. I want to show you this video because you can see induction charge, quick recharge. It's easy to do something like that for a mobile phone, but with such huge machines, it's a different thing. 5 minutes, we can give enough energy for the vehicle to work for another 2 hours. So 5 minutes for 2 hours. I know you would like to watch the entire video, but we have no time for that. Other applications are airports. Airports. In Europe, European airports are turning into this kind of batteries. So the conversion is happening. The airports as well. We have fleets remote controlled. Last 2 applications. This is rail maintenance equipment for the rail. This is a platform for maintenance, but we also have proper locomotives, 100% electric, full electric. And this is for the rail world. You can see tension in these slides. Yeah. Low tension to voltage. Last but not least, industrial and marine transmission. We work with 2 batteries in specific. We have created a certified and we have a range of small boats to up to industrial boats, hybrid industrial boats, and hybrid because they need maybe to have a boost the moment they need it. Well, this is I have another 2 slides to show you. Where I can show you our company, what we do in our company. I'm going to skip some slides. I'm going to skip the values, so you can see that we are a young company. We believe in youth and in progress, innovation, and sustainability and well-being are very important for us. Sustainability for what we live, not only just in managing our company. This is what we do in our company. There are 2 slides. This is the most technical slide of the 2. As you can see, we do everything in our company, all kinds of projects from mechanical point of view, 3D development, the software development, platform for remote control, but not only just that. And then we need different kinds of skills, from technical skills, service, which is giving support, remote support to the customer, because many of our clients and customers want to do maintenance themselves. So we need to provide provide it from remote. We plan everything in-house. And here you can see all the most traditional departments within companies: HR, admin, sales, marketing, communication, purchasing, and planning. Okay, so it's 10:34. I think this is all for me. Okay, thank you, everybody. The next speaker will be in English, so I will translate again at about 11 for Ycom. But do not disconnect from Zoom.
Allora, sono molto felice di dare benvenuto a Karl-Oskar Knutsson di Volvo Trucks. Loro si occupano in particolare della...
They deal, sorry, Volvo Trucks, they deal with the Academy of Electromobility Academy. And so they are specific on how to turn trucks into electric trucks. So this is in English, so please listen carefully. I'm sure you will be able to follow directly in English. This is for the Italian students.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hi, I'm Karl-Oskar, but that's way too long, so Kalle is way better. I come from Volvo Trucks, from Tuve plant in Gothenburg. Quite a large company. I think we're, 102,000 employees worldwide. It's a lot of people. So I specifically come from Tuve plant. I think I have, there we go, in Gothenburg. So we're about 3,000 people out there, assemblers. And my job is basically a technical trainer. I'm supposed to teach all these 3,000 assemblers how to do their job, which is a lot to do. We're only 7 people doing it. One is sitting there. Hey. So my focus is specifically for electromobility, so I'm supposed to know everything about our electric trucks and all that. I think we'll get into that a bit more. So I already told you that. We're about 3,000 employees, around 200 are like HR and stuff like that, but the rest is just assembly. It's a big factory. It's about 120,000 square meters, so it's many long walks in there. Hopeless. So we're about 30% women now, and this is assembly only. This is not the offices at all. And it's getting better. What's dragging us down is all the people that started when the factory was founded in 1982, and they're just about to retire, so it'll be good soon. So this is our focus in the Tuve factory. We build a lot of different things in Volvo Group. Can be added. We have nothing to do with Volvo cars. They're an entirely separate company. Nothing to do with us. We're way better. So our focus is mainly these. It's the heaviest of the heaviest trucks that Volvo can produce. So from 16 tons and upwards for all applications, basically. All from long range applications to construction to inner city deliveries and all that. But this is the old stuff. We also introduced this in November last year. First manufacturer to produce electric trucks in serial production. So anyone can buy these, basically. Quite expensive, but you can buy them if you want to. So currently we deliver around 140 heavy trucks every day just from Tuve, which is a lot. I'm not sure where they all go, but probably go somewhere. Around 20 of which are fully electric today, and that is increasing. Just on Monday, when we traveled here to Parma, we got the news that a massive company ordered 1,000 electric trucks from us. So I have a job to do. It's getting more and more busy. What else do we have? This is one of the fun parts of working in a Volvo factory. We only have one production line. All our models, all our variants, one production line. So diesel, LNG, gas, and electric, same line. Very annoying, but very successful. It's a lot to have in mind, but it works. This is my area specifically. What are the challenges? What are we facing with this? It's a lot we're facing because it's new-ish. Volvo Group, they started with electromobility in 2012, but that was buses and stuff like that. Trucks is still quite new for it, and it's a brand new system for us. The diesel, we know how it works and what to do with it, but electricity it's an entirely different subject. So our main challenge, from my point of view, have been we have two camps in the factory. One camp is the old guys. It's fine. I've been working here since 1982. I'm not dead yet. So they're not worried at all. They're pulling in cables and playing with batteries. But then we have the other camp, the younger crowd, most usually. They're too scared of it. They don't want to touch it. No. Someone else will have to do that. Trying to even that out is, you can't scare them too much, because then no one will touch it. But it's getting better. The thing we're lacking the most is basic electric awareness. You don't need to be an engineer in electricity to build an electric truck. It's relatively easy. But you need to know the basics. You need to know what volt is. You know, everyone knows not to put their fingers in an electrical outlet, but one step above that and it'll be all good. What else do I have? A Volvo logo. That's the new logo as well, not the old one. Yeah, I think I'm good there. It's a short presentation, but if I did it longer, it would stay here forever.
Or maybe can you please explain to the guys which is your role within the company?
Well, I started in assembly, just as an assembler, but then I started with introductions for new employees, and then they needed someone to learn everything about electromobility. So I'm in projects, seeing what projects are coming ahead and what do we need to teach our employees in order to assemble these in a good way. So electromobility safety is my main focus now, really, to make sure that no one gets hurt or whatever. So the videos you had up before, it's very like that. That's basically what I do. So certifications of, we need to have certifications when you need to commission an electric vehicle and plug the batteries in. So I deal with the safety aspect of that. So it's a lot of meetings of how do we do this? Because it works to close off a vehicle if it's in a mechanic shop. On a production line, it's a bit harder to close that area off. So it's a lot to do with that. Who gets to go where, and how do we figure out this whole mess of how do we keep the wrong people away from it? But it's working now.
Yeah. Huh. So which is your target in terms of timeline towards the complete electrification of
well, Volvo Group it follows the same as the European something, that by 2030, 50% should be renewable energy. So full electric is one way we're going for it. Hydrogen is another way we're going for it. I believe a bit more in hydrogen, but...
You're working on hydrogen too?
Yes, but it's secret, so I can't tell you.
Io faccio sempre domande.
I always ask questions. Yeah, we're secret.
Can't tell you more than that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a kind of always evolving matter.
Oh, it's ridiculously evolving. It's since we had the first prototype, the electric truck, it looks entirely different now. It's moving too fast. With charging, we started out with quite the slow chargers, but now it's really getting down there. It's really fast. Just look at Tesla 2012 and look at the new Tesla cars. It's not even the same. It's massive difference. And it's going faster and faster, especially with hydrogen. It's going to speed things up a lot.
I will just wait for a while, so I ask them if they maybe have questions or something they did not understand. So, c'è qualche cosa
any questions or anything you would like him to repeat? Anything you didn't understand? No.
Qualche cosa
Anything, maybe the production line?
o qualche domanda, visto
Be
mentre
cool, I
parlo, per
can
cui-
ask him to repeat. Okay, we have a question.
Okay. Can you please repeat your role in the
Well, yeah, I'm a technical trainer, so we have many focus areas, so I'm supposed to know more about Volvo than anyone else, but with a specific focus on electric trucks. So I deal mostly with the safety side of it, but also like general product awareness. What is it we're building and why are we doing it that way? So I take assemblers from the plant, put them in a classroom or in an electric truck, show them everything we know about it and whatever they need, really. All departments need very different things, so in some cases I just take them off a test drive to show that it's cool. But sometimes it's a bit more in depth of actually tearing apart an electric truck and showing them how to reassemble it or disconnecting the batteries. So that's the short version of my role.
È un formatore, un addestratore tecnico. Ha iniziato, you started from mechanical assembly, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but, and poi diciamo l'azienda, visto
She's repeating what he has been saying.
il gruppo Volvo,
So you started off as a technical trainer. And then in 2012, Volvo decided to start to set off with electrification. So some technicians had been chosen and moved to the new sector. And they received training to train new employees or new workers on how to electrify trucks.
We were also discussing yesterday that at some point, until 2012, 2010, nobody was actually trained from school about electricity. So there were some people like you that learned just working, okay? And then they were appointed to train other people, but there are some people like you who learn just by themselves or just improving their knowledge while working.
I learned it by doing the wrong things.
Sì, ieri abbiamo visitato, lo dico anche per...
Okay, I can recap. Yesterday we visited, is anyone from Perello? No. So yesterday we visited near Gadda School in Fornovo, the workshops and the labs and of Innovation Farm. And we talked to one of the trainers there, the one who in specific works with laser, carbon laser. And he started off with another company, Amagnini, and he started from scratch because he had to learn, like not from the training he received from school, but the company where he was working for needed the new skills, and he had to develop them on the go. And then he was appointed to become trainer for other workers and employees. So basically, this is something that often happens. You learn by experimenting, then you become competent, or a person is appointed expert, and so then the company can create the new department, and you create the training, technical training, so that the department can grow. Think of what we have listened to and keep the questions. And after the last speaker, which is Ycom, and we can start a session of Q&A.
Thank you, Karl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to call on stage Paolo Perello, Composite lead engineer for Ycom in Stradella. Yesterday we talked about composite materials, and now we can go more in depth with him.
Vado in italiano, giusto?
I can speak in Italian, right? Yes.
The English translation is on again.
Yes.
Ciao a tutti.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paolo Perello. As you can read here, I'm a composite engineer for Ycom. Let's start with a question. What is alternative mobility? Let me give you an example. Today I wanted to come here. I wanted to come by bike, but I had a problem with a flat tire, so I had to come on foot. This is already an alternative I had to create for themselves. I created CO2, but less than my car. So we have to think in this way. And this is what we want to show you today. What is the approach? What is Ycom's approach? So we will deal with who is Ycom, what mobility revolution is. Okay, let's leave aside a bike or on foot. I'll show you what we do in our company, how we create new things, the way we see the future, and then we will recap. Let's start with a motivational video to get you energized.
Questa macchina completamente elettrica che ha fatto il
This car is 100% electric, and they had a record. They performed with a record.
Sicuramente nel video.
I'm sure in the video you have seen a lot of petrol, diesel. And let's say that it's part of our past, but also our future, because for now races are still that category. But there's more and more electric scooters, and you have seen a lot of electric too in the video.
Un'ottica un pochino diversa. Allora,
we want to have a new perspective. Let's start off with Ycom and who we are and what we try to do. Motorsport is a very fast environment, and this is our DNA. And this is the approach we want to have also in other fields. Rapidity, being quick and fast. If you want to show something new and fast, you need to show something new. So you always need to find a new thing all the time. And we do this with our experience from our past, and also with the holistic approach we want to we have and we show. If you look at some parts of the car, you can see the entire car. So from the part to the entire car, you see the details, but you can see everything from a little detail. Maybe the customer himself maybe they have not thought of that specific detail, but that's what we do. So try to see the entire project from a specific detail. This is holistic for us. This is a human side, and the values of the company is trust. Trust and flexibility are key words for us, together with focus. The responsibility in the projects that we have is very high because requests from customers are very high. If you want to win a race, you have to be better than everybody else. And that's what we have to focus on. And speed, being fast. We need to be very efficient. Speed is our keyword. As our manager always tells us, it's the next race is our race. If you still think of the previous race, you're dead. So you always want to think of the next race. And this is who our clients are. This is who we work with and for. Something, it can be anything from design, production. It depends. This is the world, basically, our world. We are in Collecchio, which is a few kilometers from Parma, about 10, in the heart of the Italian Moro Valley. This area where you can find the most important companies for motorsport. So you have an entire group of companies who support this business in this area. And to be honest, it's hard to find something like this in other parts of the world. Because if we need something, our neighbor company can create the part that we need. And something like this is very hard to find in other parts of the planet. So this is our idea. In motorsport requires being fast, being focused, and that's also in development to fulfill projects. And this, we have our great experience in the world of racing, and this has created imprinting for us. But we want to transfer this skill into everyday mobility, alternative mobility, e-mobility. So use our experience for this new sector, for the present, for the future. So we want to get into this sector as well. We want to widen our horizon, so not just races, but also something more. Here you can see some of our projects. As you can see, there's everything. So there's a plane, there's boats, there's racing cars, but also urban mobility, light urban mobility, as you can see. Scooters. And we have created models for it, and this is, but we will talk about it in detail later. Let's talk about what for us is the mobility revolution, the so-called mobility revolution, and what is our idea. If we think of, let's read this slide. So in 1970, average fleet weight was 1,000 kilos. 2015, 1,380. So if it's heavier, its consumption is higher. But these 380 kilos plus, what are they? They are safety. They are safety systems. Volvo might know because they work on it. So these are all kilos to feel safer when we drive our cars. But the consequence is if I improve on something, something gets worse from another aspect. So CO2 consumption, CO2 emissions got higher. So the research goes into optimization. So we want to go back to cars weighing 1,000 kilos. And how can we do it? And this is us. So carbon fiber, as we mentioned before, carbon fibers. Carbon fibers wanted to make cars lighter, because batteries are the future, also hydrogen, but there is also a lot of carbon also there. So if we... So carbon is everywhere also in these sectors. So the material that can work better in this for hydrogen and electric is carbon. So also in hydrogen, we talk about carbon. So also for safety, carbon is crucial for the crash, for example. But going back to batteries, batteries are cool, but they are heavy. And so we need to make sure that everything else is lighter. So lightening up everything else, it means that we need to change material. So we know metal, we know the performance, but we need to go forward. We need to think something more performing. And here we have our background on carbon fibers that can make cars lighter. So what is our vision? Our vision is optimization, making everything more efficient and make transportation, means of transportation lighter and better performing. We know that we all like figures and numbers, and according to the study, 60% of US movements, 60% of trips in the US are within 5 miles. So within 5 miles, what can you do? You can use your bike, you can walk, or scooters, electric scooters. Then 25% of trips in the US is a medium distance, so between 5 and 15 miles. So what can you do? Ride-hailing, which is sharing, car sharing. In Italy, we have BlaBlaCar. Basically, you have one car and you share it with other people. From the 1970s in the United States, you have lanes where only cars with more than one driver, one person in the car, can use these lanes. And so you can go faster. There are everywhere, also on San Francisco Golden Gate. Can you imagine who do you think it was to have like a dummy sitting beside the driver? An Italian person. So this is history. We are. And long distance, so 15 plus, what can we do? The approach is different because you want to own the car, but you can go for car sharing, so share the car. So it's a different approach. Some numbers again. So the hours, the average hours spent in traffic, average time. So Stockholm 35, Sao Paulo 1 month. So it would be better to sit on the sofa looking at your Instagram page. Or, for example, the air quality. As we all remember, lockdown, COVID helped us to understand that if everyone stops and there's no cars driving or trucks, we all have seen the consequences, blue skies, and everything we remember. So as you can read on the slide, yes, so we need to widen this way of thinking. So let's not go into energy consumption. A car uses more energy, a scooter uses less, so you have a different perspective on that. So what is my choice? If I use a scooter or if I use a car? And from the point of view of space, both car sharing, but also basic numbers, basic figures, 70 scooters, electric scooters, can fit the parking of one car. So also in cities, we all have a better quality of life. So let's get into Ycom. So if you go to Solabaganza in collective direction, you can see our company. This is us. Our approach, what is our approach? We don't just have a technical approach, but also a company approach. So what do we mean by company approach? We have tried to study procedures where we have a positive impact on the planet from what we do as internal processes. So basically, the more we move inside a company, we are better because we are fitter. So we all move as much as we can within the company. We have as a cooling system. We have an inner cooling system, so for water, so we don't have waste of water. Recycling, as for recycling, from an industrial point of view, the recycling is much more important. And then all the ISOs and certifications connected with what we do. So all our effort is mirrored with the ISOs we have. So what do we actually do? What is this? This is the front of a car, like a Formula car. Usually they are made in carbon fiber. Why carbon fiber? Because the behavior, the absorption of energy breaking down is optimal. But so we thought, as we can see, this is brown. Brown. What color is that? It's linen fiber. It's a material that it's an alternative material. We know all of that from the Egyptian time. And you can mix it with resins and you can produce components with that. So what was your idea? Let's study it. As it has no mechanical characteristics, it's usually used for secondary panels. For example, I don't know, parts of the vehicle that do not need a lot of charge, so not structural parts. Okay, let's use it for something structural. So we studied it, we understood the behavior, and we created this crash. And we understood that we can use it also in other ways. And this is, let's see if I can show you. Yes. Okay, this is the test. The material works. It works quite well because the good thing is that when it breaks, it's not like carbon. The parts that break are smoother and less. So they are safer. So, for example, if for a race you do not create problems to tires for other cars if driving over parts, as it happens with carbon. Okay, let's go back to this slide with some figures and numbers. As being less performing, you need more material, so it's going to be heavier. But what is the pro? An advantage in terms of CO2, because linen fiber, before being impregnated or turning it into material we use, what do? It grows in a field, eats up CO2, and so just with that, it helps the cycle to be more environmentally friendly. From a global point of view, so this is the result. This is what we can save using this kind of fiber. You can save almost a 4 championship season. Sorry. A short video now to show you what we mean. So this is linen.
Over the clouds of Pikes Peak and through the woods of the Green Hell. Natural fibers made it from GT to the pinnacle of motorsports. It is time to take sustainable impact to the next level. The first natural fiber crash box, engineered and tested by Ycom, made in Amplitex reinforcement. The time to act is now. We are ready. Are you?
Here, let me show you another example. This is a 2019 project, which is electric e-scooters. We thought with this partner ESC to create a new category, like e-formula for scooters, to make sure to create a new interest in these scooters. So everyone can use a scooter in the city, but what about races? What about the desire for performance? We have created these scooters, e-scooters. So the entire chassis is made of linen fiber. So all of that is linen fiber. It's 100% electric. They look like toys, but they go 100 I think, kilometers per hour. They are fun to drive. From a technical point of view, they were a challenge because this was a first for us. So we usually go and work for 4 wheels. And this was an example of something fun to do from an engineering point of view. So a short video now to show races. A fast format, quick. in city circuits, and the race was very cool.
Vi suggerisco andare al pubblico che devo sottolineare che era elettrici.
Electric, everything electric. Mm.
E quindi cosa vediamo?
So, what do we see for the future? Going back to using new materials, thinking of new materials, and focusing on electric or alternative systems, such as hydrogen. So, according to what we have showed you, the use of linen fiber or natural fibers, not just linen. There are a lot of other fibers like coconut, banana fiber, but from an industrial point of view, for now, only linen is being used. So this is our frontier. Yes, this is what we want to focus on and offer to clients. What is a new frontier? Recycled materials. Recycled materials, also in planes. So what happens when a plane ends its life? So carbon fiber requires a lot of energy for production, to produce it. And so the process it's a process that requires a lot of energy. So what can we do with materials, leftover materials from the end of life of something like a plane? So, okay, new material has some characteristics and recycled and used material different, but we can see how to use it, how to recycle it. They are performing, and going back to the circle, which is not just our logo, but gives back to life to material that otherwise would not be used again. So this is going back to recapping what are our ideas of sustainability and mobility for the future. Surely the transition to e-mobility through electric vehicles or hydrogen. Keep the focus on this is crucial for us. From the company point of view, to develop a behavior that is environmentally friendly and that looks into the future and the consequences of what we do, and find ways to consume less. And this surely, as motorsport teaches us, how fast it is for things to change in motorsport is what we always remember and go back to. So an accelerator, a technical accelerator that can give us the opportunity to create new ideas which are more efficient and more environmentally friendly. So research and development, the research on the market, or even just from an engineering point of view, to create a need for a new material and then push on suppliers to create something new. Also initiate a movement that starts from the bottom, that goes back to the final customer. And this creates a mentality of innovation for everyone. So this is a way of thinking to create something new. And this is the end. Thank you. Questions now, later? I would like to get started with questions that you can ask to any of our speakers, Paolo, Marco, Volvo, Karl. Please, do not be shy. I know you have questions.
I have a question for Volvo. Which is the maximum range for a heavyweight truck, fully charged and yeah, fully loaded?
The testing we've done has been in Germany by Erasmus, and they with a full load of 44 tons in that trailer, they came 350 kilometers. They still have like 5-10% charge left.
And how would it take to recharge it fully?
With fast charger, about 80 minutes.
Oh. Cool. It's getting better. And with hydrogen? No, we cannot talk about that. 5 minutes. No, but hydrogen is, yeah, I really like the idea. And for us too, it's really interesting. Ragazzi, qualche
Una
domanda?
domanda io su
I have a question
crash test.
about a crash test.
Quindi la parte
So basically, the part of the vehicle that breaks, goes into pieces. So basically, the fact that it breaks is to make sure that the impact creates no problem to the driver and the people inside the vehicle, right?
Dell'omino che sta dentro,
So
del conducente, del pilota.
everything depends on, everything is created for people inside the car. So there are criteria according to.
Ma ce n'è anche uno posteriore, e ad esempio in Formula 1 ne
So basically, Formula One, they have a front and rear crash parts. So basically, you cannot have too high the acceleration or deceleration, or what a human body can have. So basically, the deceleration, it needs to be progressive. So the progression needs to be. So basically, if you brake too soon as a driver,
no, lui deve frenare, sicuro, deve buttare giù il piede sul freno.
so the driver needs to brake, because
Piano è meglio, quello. Lui si deve rompere in maniera progressiva, avendo.
So basically, the part needs to brake progressively with curves of energy absorption that do not create problems to the people inside the vehicle.
Non ne scendiamo nel dettaglio, però.
Let's not get into detail. So the point is to make sure that the crash is progressive.
Okay, what you have seen, we use material from a company called Ycom, which is, let's say, the worldwide, the best company for this kind of material. That mesh you have seen is something they have engineered. It's called Power Rib, and what it does, it helps from, if you think about a monolithic laminate, so it means just of carbon fiber, or in this case, flax fiber. If you put that carbon rib, it creates like, not like wrinkles, but stiffeners, like a mesh of stiffness that increase the inertia of the laminate. So this means that with less weight, so you don't have to step into a sandwich structure, for example, so with, I don't know, foams or honeycombs or so ever, you can increase the inertia and so the stiffness of the panel. Actually, in the crusher you have seen, we have not used this power rib. It was a classical sandwich structure, because also the aluminum honeycomb helps in the absorption of energy during a crash. But for example, for simple panels, for bodyworks, it's really highly used, this net, this power rib. Altre domande, ragazzi?
Ma se no, mi piacerebbe magari
I would like
if
if teachers who are here today, our teachers from both schools, if they want to say something about what they, what they teach, so basically the subjects students learn, so that so that our partners can understand how our schools are organized. And please think of the questions you want to ask. Hello, everybody. I'm from Bellini School. I teach Cisita Parma, which is a school with many different specialties. I teach in the mechanical sector, but we have electrical, electrotechnical. Next year, we will also have electrotechnical articulation with renewable energies specialties to renovate the school. And then another two lines of automation, one automation and one electrotechnical, which is turning into renewable energy. And so they will focus more on robotics. Then we have logistics. We have different things. We do mainly mechanical. We focus on mechanical and mechatronic. It's more of a traditional mechanics. For the past 15 years, we have been doing the traditional, so-called traditional. For the past 10 years, systemic automation have been introduced. So I tell you, who might not be so expert, we introduce the electrotechnical part to give so alternating current and so basically we try to give an idea of everything, and we don't go too much into anything specific for what concerns automotive, because automation, pneumatic and control systems, so basically everything. So it's we used to have something more specific, but it wasn't so successful, and it was the one about energy, but it was oriented towards thermotechnical part of buildings, and a big problem. So that was before lockdown. So we had established some contacts, but then we didn't follow this line. It wasn't. So the idea changed, and so we wanted to understand how to create something relevant for our times. So we wanted to do something connected with the real world. Even though many students were interested in that. I teach mechanical and machines, and design and project creation. And I think one of my students, and I think works for. Okay. She told me I work for a company where they make scooters. So yes, so basically Ycom. A few years ago. Okay, so I got it. Yeah. So I wasn't too far from the truth. So this is all. So and then we do mechanical technology. We teach mechanical technology. An important issue is when there are so many labs and so many projects. Okay, we did not take part in this one. Is how to integrate this with the end of with the exam of the end of the year. So because the exam deals with a specific program, which might be disconnected from these projects. So one question for Karl. So we have seen that in Barilla, the recharge system for AGV is with induction. So my question is, this induction system will be spread, will be with plug-in or also for private use? So if you've heard on the newspaper in Sweden, that in the future there will be a system that can charge automatically trucks while they are being driven on a lane in the motorway, which will be as an induction kind of recharge.
So yeah, there are tests going on in Sweden right now where they electrified a section of a highway for just induction charging. I'm not the biggest believer in induction charging, as it loses too much energy. The more energy you put in it, the more you lose of it. It will probably be one part of the solution, that it can provide a bit of the charging whilst you're on the way, just for range extension or whatever, but I don't think it will be the main charging way.
There will be some problems.
No, exactly. Too many sensitive electronics in it. It's a bit hopeless sometimes, but yeah. Smarter people than me are working on it.
Se ci sono altre domande, è il tempo.
Any other questions? This is the right time for them.
Altrimenti, se
Otherwise,
ci state ancora pensando,
if you're still thinking about your questions, I would move on to the part where we introduce you all the partners that have taken part in the project. If there are no questions, just 1 second for me to call. Oh, okay.
Così, perché loro ovviamente presenteranno in inglese e se c'è qualche necessità, diciamo, vi traduciamo sul momento, quindi interprete se vuoi venire. Allora, intanto che aspettiamo che l'interprete arriva, ma diciamo deve spostarsi fisicamente. Cominciamo con i partner italiani, quindi Ipsia, Ferrari e TS Maker. Sì.
Va bene, buongiorno a tutti. Io mi chiamo Emilia Paderno, insegno all'Istituto Ferrari di Maranello da molti anni. Quest'anno celebriamo il 60° anniversario da quando la nostra scuola è diventata statale, perché la nostra scuola è stata fondata da... vuoi che parli in inglese? For them?
Sì.
Ok, sorry, I start again. So, my name is Emilia Paderno. I've been teaching at ESA Ferrari for many years. I'm very happy to be here now, again with all of you and with students coming from a couple of institutes we have been cooperating years ago, thanks to Serena. I was just saying that this year is the 60th anniversary of our school, since our school became a state school. Actually, our school was founded by Enzo Ferrari exactly around the end of the Second World War. He was a very clever man, very modern man, and he thought that every important company, should have a place where to train its staff. So he founded a small school exactly where now we have, I mean, the one of you who have come to Maranello, we have the very famous restaurant Cavallino. Well, this morning I've heard that Parma is the capital of Motor Valley. Actually, years ago I read on an American newspaper that the capital of the Motor Valley was Maranello, but as I am a very open-minded lady, I can share these, I don't know, capital city with Parma. However, as everyone knows, we have the Ferrari company, exactly 100, 200 meters. Then we have Pagani, as I heard from the student behind me, 15 kilometers from Maranello. We have Maserati in Modena. We have Lamborghini. Yesterday, they named other company, which now doesn't exist anymore. So for us, it has been a real challenge to work again with Serena Gerboni, which we did in another KI2 vet years ago. And the idea of putting something innovative in a school where the endothermic engine, the old engine, is an idle, has been very demanding. We have tried in these 30 months to do what we were asked to do for the project from the national agency side, as well as to implement and to try all the output and on our students, to test on our students. And we may say that we've been successful, and some of them have seen our students when we had the last meeting. Others have seen our students when we had our multiplier events. And so we have tried to link these activities with other projects we are dealing with, such as e-mobility. So we are in a net, an Italian net, which works under the Ministry of Education on e-mobility. Last year, with the municipality close to Maranello, Fiorano Modenese, our student tried to design and to tell how an electric bus should be in order to be innovative. And so we have tried to let them also learn how to become an leader company, apprendere ad intraprendere, we would say. And this year, thanks to a lot of other projects, we could have, thanks to the Piano Nazionale Estate, PON, we have had many activities with different teachers, which in a way or in another have dealt with the topic of our project. So, thank you very much for listening to me, and hope to work again with you or my school, because I'm retiring this year. Thank you very much.
Gracias, and the guys from Lithuania, please come so we can present your. Would you like to start with YouTube or? With YouTube, yes. YouTube, okay. And no, translator, please. Here too. if you want to start with your school, and then
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe everyone hears me.
She will translate while you're speaking.
Okay.
So just maybe hold.
So, we come here from Lithuania. I'm Nicholas. Those are my colleagues, Vidmantas and Gražvydas.
Sono Nicolas e questi sono i miei colleghi e veniamo dalla Lituania.
Me and Vidmantas are from Vilnius Automechanic School.
Veniamo dalla scuola automeccanica di Vilnius.
I teach mostly everything related to electricity, starting from starters and ending with hybrid and electric vehicles.
Io insegno tutto quello che è collegato con l'elettricità.
I teach about body building, so metal work, body shop, all the things that is.
E io invece mi occupo di tutto quanto necessita una costruzione fisica del veicolo.
And this is just a short film about our school.
Questo è un breve video che riguarda la nostra scuola.
So we are located mostly in Vilnius city center.
Noi siamo nel centro di Vilnius.
And our new building is outside Vilnius.
La nostra nuova sede è fuori da Vilnius, però.
We teach everything related to mechanics, automechanics, bodybuilders, painters.
Noi insegniamo tutto quello che riguarda la meccanica, anche il coating, cioè il colore.
As well, we offer teaching, getting a short license.
Offriamo anche la possibilità di licenze e certificazioni ai nostri studenti. E ci occupiamo anche di tutti i mezzi che riguardano l'agricoltura. Abbiamo anche dei mezzi speciali in caso di slittamenti.
Classes usually take 2 years. Some of the students which are coming back for our programs would finish classes in 1 year.
I corsi in genere durano 2 anni, ma alcune volte possono fare dei nuovi corsi per un altro anno, i nostri studenti. Come potete vedere dal video, tutti gli insegnamenti sono molto pratici e i ragazzi lavorano direttamente sulle macchine. 30% teoria, 70% pratica. Il primo anno stanno nella nostra sede, nella scuola, e il secondo invece si recano direttamente nelle aziende.
Il tuo sorriso, il tuo superpotere. Prenota ora un appuntamento informativo.
Uno dei nostri insegnanti è il miglior insegnante europeo nella sua materia. Questa è la nostra scuola.
Hello everybody. So as my colleagues already mentioned, from Volvo Mobility Group.
Come ha detto il mio collega, anche io faccio parte della Muller Mobility Group. E questa è una breve presentazione su che cos'è Muller.
Okay, so Muller Mobility Group was built introduced in 1936.
È stato fondato nel 1936
And it started in Norway.
in Norvegia.
And we are located in 5 different countries.
Noi ci troviamo in 5 paesi diversi:
Norway, Sweden,
Norvegia, Svezia
and Baltic countries.
e i paesi balcanici. Baltici.
Yeah. We do represent some brands as Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seat, Cupra, and even Porsche in Sweden.
Noi rappresentiamo tutti questi brand che sono Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seat, Cupra e anche da Porsche in Svezia.
And we do have approximately 4,000 employees in all of the countries.
In tutti i nostri paesi siamo in circa 4.000.
This is our new slogan, Dare to Move. That means we are prepared to step ahead with electricity, to step ahead with moving forward and making everything better for our clients.
Questo Dare to Move è la nostra nuova vision, cioè avere il coraggio di spostarci, ma nel senso di spostarci verso l'e-mobility, quindi non aver paura di provare nuove strade.
Talking about Mello Mobility Group's dealerships in Baltic States.
Ok, questi sono i nostri car dealers nei vari stati.
So in Estonia we represent only Volkswagen and Skoda, and we have 4 dealerships.
In Estonia abbiamo 4 centri per Volkswagen e Audi.
In Latvia we have 5 dealerships and we represent only Audi and Volkswagen.
In Latvia ne abbiamo 5.
Yeah, and I'm from Lithuania, so we have 3 dealerships, 2 of them which is Volkswagen and 1 is Audi.
Io sono in Lituania, abbiamo 3 centri.
This is our company and a picture of our building.
Questa è la nostra azienda ed è una fotografia della nostra headquarters.
And we have 3 main jobs to say. It's businesses of selling new cars, used cars, and of course after sales. And in after sales we do have absolutely everything, starting from maintenance, ending with disassembling high voltage batteries.
Noi abbiamo 3 settori principali che sono la vendita di auto nuove, auto usati e tutto quello che riguarda l'after sale.
In Lithuania we have approximately 180 employees.
Siamo in circa 180 in Lituania, che ci occupiamo insomma in Lituania, 180.
And since 2019 all of our Mello companies have entered to a project which is called Great Place to Work.
Dal 2019 partecipiamo a questo progetto, insomma l'abbiamo creato, Great Place to Work, cioè un fantastico mondo in cui, un luogo in cui lavorare.
And in which all of our employees are answering some kind of questions every year, and by that a company is evaluated as a great place to work or not so.
Okay. Tutte le persone che lavorano nel nostro gruppo devono rispondere a delle domande per capire se siamo davvero un great place to work, cioè un fantastico luogo in cui lavorare, e in base alle risposte veniamo certificati nel sì o nel no. Nel 2021 noi eravamo tra i top in questa categoria.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure to be here with all the project. Thank you, Serena, and thank you all guys. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I hope I see you sometime.
È stato un piacere lavorare con voi, sia con Serena ma con tutto il gruppo, e magari ricapita in futuro.
Yeah. Thanks again.
I'm the last one?
No.
Still. Try to focus. Hello, I'm Karl-Oskar. I'm the coordinator international from our school.
Io sono il coordinatore internazionale per la mia scuola.
We are in the very center of the Netherlands, Utrecht.
Noi ci troviamo a Utrecht, proprio nel centro dell'Olanda.
And we cooperate this project with Innovam, and Innovam is a technical center. They do technical trainings for companies.
Noi la collaboriamo con Innovam, che crea opportunità con i training centers.
I think compared to the other countries, we are our school, which is very big.
A differenza di altri paesi, la nostra scuola è davvero molto grande.
As you can see, we are in the very center of the Netherlands.
Come potete vedere siamo proprio al centro dell'Olanda
We have some
e abbiamo
other places other than Utrecht.
altre location, altre a Utrecht, altri luoghi.
You mentioned 20,000, in reality it's 18,000 students now.
Noi abbiamo 18.000.
It's big. It's big and, well, we have the ages in between 15 and 18, so we have also adult application.
Come vedete l'età dei nostri studenti o le persone che partecipano ai nostri corsi è tra i 15 e gli 80 anni, quindi non solo ragazzi.
As you can see, we have many courses, 1,800 colleagues.
Come vedete abbiamo davvero molti corsi e 800 colleghi.
And many companies where our students do their internships and where they work.
E molti luoghi in cui si possono fare questi corsi.
In the Netherlands it's divided and going to school 5 days a week and then do during the period sometimes some internships in companies.
Ok,
full time.
I nostri ragazzi vanno a scuola 5 giorni a settimana.
That's school based. So we have students who do, for instance, automotive, and they go to school for 4 years every day, and they have internships in companies. But we also have a situation in which you have apprenticeship students, 8,000 of them, and they have a contract with a company, and they work 4 days a week, they get paid, and they come to school 1 day a week.
Ok, abbiamo due tipi di strutture, i ragazzi che vanno a scuola 4 giorni a settimana e quello è school based, ma altri sono apprenticeship, cioè vanno nell'azienda 4 giorni a settimana.
So we have students who have the same diploma after 4 years, either went to the company 4 days and 1 day to school, or 5 days. It's the same value diploma.
E il diploma è lo stesso, non è che uno ha un valore diverso, semplicemente la modalità è diversa.
And all those students, when they work and need more information concerning new models, new things, then there's Innovam, they do the technical trainings after.
Innovam si occupa di dare il technical training, cioè il training tecnico, successivamente se necessario.
But I think Jan will explain in a minute what they do. Oh yeah, well, this includes the apprenticeship or school-based education, and then we have 4 levels. The students who do the electrical things, like what you saw, is level 4, of course.
Ok, abbiamo 4 livelli e quelli che si occupano della parte elettrica sono al 4º livello. Livello 3 e 4.
And I'm responsible as a coordinator international. We do internships. We get students from Italy, Spain, everywhere to our country.
Come coordinatore internazionale mi occupo proprio dei collegamenti tra i vari stati e quindi abbiamo studenti anche italiani che vengono a fare dei periodi da noi.
And we send out, I'm responsible for Tech College, which is construction, electrical, mechanics, ICT and automotive.
Io mi occupo di 3 settori in specifico.
That's how I'm working and where we do this project. But we have also the rest.
Ok, io mi occupo di questi 3, ma ce ne sono molti di più.
As you can see, beauty college, construction, business administration, we have it all in all levels.
Come vedete abbiamo tutto quello che è vocational su tutti gli aspetti.
And you can imagine that let's say hospitality and travel college, on the year base, they have the most students who go on board for internships, and the others as well. But there are the most students who go out and learn things in foreign countries.
Il settore alberghiero è quello che sicuramente porta maggiore connessione a livello internazionale.
And my students, automotive, know Emilia Paderno for about 20 years, I think.
Okay.
That's so long. Do we already have students from us to go to?
Tanto per fare un esempio, i miei studenti hanno collaborato con Emilia Paderno per almeno 20 anni, quindi è una collaborazione che va avanti da molto tempo.
Well, I think the principals will say this about our school. I think it's okay. Okay, vision education. We try to do a lot of practical things because that's why there is vocational education.
La nostra visione è mantenere tutto il più pratico possibile, infatti siamo un vocational college.
And I noticed that more than years ago, there's more cooperation with companies.
C'è sempre maggiore collaborazione con le aziende.
And at this moment we have at the place where I am during the week, in Nieuwegein, which is near Utrecht, we have at the school where they have mechatronics and electronics, we have as we call a make center.
Abbiamo dei centri specifici, per esempio quelli di meccatronica.
This is a new building with equipment.
Che è un centro con nuova tecnologia che è stato creato dalle aziende. Perché come dappertutto le aziende vogliono cooperazione in modo da avere delle persone di cui si possono fidare e che siano già pronte quando entrano in azienda.
Well, that's what it is. Okay. We have a situation in which you have pre-vocational from 12 till 16, and then afterwards you do the vocational training years, 4 years. And then we have just like university and higher vocational.
Qua in questa slide ci fa vedere la differenza e la struttura tra corsi universitari oppure più pratici.
And we also, as you can see, we have, of course, adult education, senior vocational.
Ci si occupano anche degli adulti, quindi non soltanto ragazzi che devono arrivare a 19 anni con la qualifica, ma è insomma, corsi per tutta la vita.
This PowerPoint is normally and also now used to show other countries that we do exchanges, internships abroad with each other. So we have an opportunity for the students to have international experience. We have strategic partners in Europe, and yeah, we like to give students the opportunity to go abroad.
Questa presentazione è fatta apposta per far capire quanto internazionali siano i nostri progetti e per far capire quanto accessibile è questa internazionalizzazione a tutti i livelli.
And we like to receive students as well.
E ci piace anche ricevere studenti, quindi
if you dare,
se avete il coraggio.
Okay. Okay, well, that's why you should do an international internship.
Questi sono i motivi per cui dovreste fare un'esperienza internazionale. Per poter avere una carriera internazionale, per partecipare a un corso all'estero, per diventare bilingui e per avere competenze internazionali. Quindi, 4 reasons.
Just like my colleagues from Lithuania said,
come ha detto il mio collega della Lituania,
we're happy we did this project because we are in Europe. We need to help each other, need to learn from each other.
Siamo tutti in Europa, quindi è giusto che collaboriamo tra di noi e lavoriamo insieme.
So now I think I will ask my colleague Jelle to tell something about what you do as a company. That's I think what you want to share.
Quindi vorrei invitare sul palco il mio collega Jelle.
Hello everybody.
Salve a tutti.
My name is Jelle van den Berg. As Cor already told, I'm from Innovam.
Io sono di Innovam, Jelle.
One of the largest private companies in the Netherlands who conduct training and they develop trainings in the Netherlands.
Una delle più grandi aziende in Olanda che si occupa del training.
There are about 40 vocational schools in the Netherlands, I think, who do work for the mobility sector.
Ci sono circa 40 scuole che si occupano della mobilità.
And we have a large sector for
Una grande fetta.
I'm a bit sorry, at first I have to say we work in teams. We have several teams.
Lavoriamo in team, abbiamo vari team.
Team passenger cars, but we have also other teams, trucks, two-wheelers. I have a colleague over there. He is for the two-wheeler sector, and also maybe the next slide.
Yes. Siamo divisi in vari ambiti.
So we have a lot of employees, about 250.
Siamo in 235.
And we have, you can see a lot of stakeholders.
E abbiamo tante.
The Ministry of Education.
Lavoriamo per il Ministero dell'Educazione
The Ministry of Transportation.
e del Trasporto.
Once every year, you have to check your car for safety. That's what we do in Europe.
Una volta all'anno è necessario fare il tagliando auto.
And we have a lot of trainings for the PTI inspectors.
E quindi noi offriamo molto training in questo senso.
I think there's 25,000 inspectors in the Netherlands.
Ci sono 25.000 ispettori in Olanda.
They have to be trained again.
E ogni 2 anni devono ricevere nuovo training.
So that's a big part of our work.
E questa è una grande parte del nostro lavoro.
Another part is that we train students. They go 4 days a week to work.
4 giorni a settimana vanno a lavorare e un giorno vanno a scuola.
But they don't learn a lot in practice. They just maintain cars.
Ma fanno soltanto la manutenzione, riparano le auto.
But when they have to do their examination,
Ma quando devono fare i loro esami,
they don't pass a lot.
spesso non passano gli esami. Alle volte il 40% passano gli esami. Per questo abbiamo un training molto pratico per questi ragazzi.
And the third part is training for educated people already.
La terza parte è per gli adulti, con workshop, laboratori,
Electrical vehicles, for instance.
per esempio sulla mobilità elettrica e batterie, ed è una fetta importante di ciò che facciamo adesso.
I've been in technical training for about 20-25 years within Innova.
Sono circa 20-25 anni che lavoro per Innova in questo settore tecnico.
But nowadays I'm a coordinator for all those technical trainings.
Ma adesso coordino tutti questi settori tecnici.
And one of the biggest parts is now to conduct trainings on high voltage systems.
E adesso una parte importante è sull'alto voltaggio, sui sistemi di alto voltaggio.
To work safe.
E lavorare in modo sicuro, come abbiamo visto nel video prima.
Just some pictures of our premises. In fact, we are neighbors with the vocational school. So it's in Nieuwegein, just near Utrecht, in the middle of the Netherlands.
Queste sono alcune fotografie dei nostri centri.
So as I already told you, different trainings for workshops, but also management, service and consultancy.
Come vedete queste sono le attività che facciamo, quindi laboratori, parti, management, vendita e tutto quello che concerne.
Also for two-wheelers. And we have also an international team.
Abbiamo anche un team internazionale.
You see a nice picture over there from Lamborghini.
Potete vedere una Lamborghini.
So we have a complete training project for Lamborghini because they were growing a lot, because they started to produce the Urus.
Abbiamo un training completo per la Lamborghini perché c'era stata una collaborazione.
They asked Innova to provide
E quindi era stato chiesto ad Innovam di creare un programma apposito.
All our trainings are via a blended approach.
Noi usiamo un blended approccio.
So that means we have face-to-face trainings, but before that you have to do an online course.
Quindi abbiamo in presenza, però c'è anche un corso online prima per prepararti al training più tecnico.
Nowadays we have also a nice studio. You can see that it's all not real time, it's virtual reality, or it is mixed reality or augmented reality. It's all what we can.
Come potete vedere questo studio è molto innovativo perché è tutto in 3D o simili tecnologie.
Here you see our studio in action. It was for a large automaker.
Come vedete qua è insomma un esempio di ciò che facciamo.
And it can also be a technical approach. Now somebody is working on the engine and it is filmed and it is sent globally over the world.
Quindi viene filmato e poi diciamo, la lezione viene inviata in tutto il mondo.
So it was actually for Nissan.
E questo era per la Nissan.
Yeah, there's some different pictures what we do. So I told you virtual reality, mixed reality, e-learning, 3D video animations and our TV studios.
Questa è un'immagine ricapitolativa di tutto quanto facciamo e soprattutto per focalizzare sulle tecnologie innovative che utilizziamo.
So when we entered this safety project for Innovation Garage, we already had some, well, actually a lot of training on EVs and on safety.
Quando siamo entrati a far parte di questo progetto noi avevamo già molto materiale e molto dei programmi consolidati. Quindi faceva già parte del nostro background.
And just a little explanation, if you want to work safe on vehicles, on electric vehicles.
Una breve spiegazione.
We have a European norm, so every country in Europe has to do the same.
Ci sono delle norme europee, quindi in ogni paese europeo ci sono le stesse norme da seguire.
But there are some country-specific norms.
Però allo stesso tempo ci sono anche norme di ogni paese.
So we have 4 levels of technical personnel who can work on the car. So first is the layman, he has no education whatsoever, so he should not touch the high voltage system. The second one is the instructed person. He has some instructions, but he was not educated on the systems. So he may work on the car, but never on the HV system when it is still energized. And then the third one is the skilled person. He has a lot of education. He knows what he is doing, and he may work on the high voltage system. If he is extra skilled, he may even work on the system when it's still energized.
Ci sono 4 livelli, come potete vedere, e ogni livello progredisce con quanta responsabilità possono avere sul veicolo. I primi 2, per esempio, non mettono mano sul veicolo, i primi 2 livelli, invece il terzo e il quarto, mano a mano, lavorano sempre di più sul veicolo.
And then you have an overall person in the workshop who is responsible for every work on the electrical vehicles. So it's a kind of safety manager in the workshop.
Quindi questo è il modo in cui viene gestita la parte di sicurezza da noi.
The basic rule is very simple. Do not work on live parts. It could be your last day.
Come diceva prima il video precedente, non lavorate mai su parti in cui c'è dell'elettricità che passa. Ecco.
So if a student is probably making a fault, we ask them any last wishes.
Se i ragazzi si avvicinano, chiediamo se hanno degli ultimi desideri da voler realizzare.
So first you have to disconnect the power source.
Prima cosa, disconnettere in modo che sia.
And you have to protect yourself with the protective equipment. You see some pictures over there. So the gloves, safety.
Secondo step, indossare materiale protettivo. E poi utilizzare strumentazioni adeguate.
And maybe most important of all, follow the procedures. If you don't follow the procedures, you can make terrible mistakes.
E la cosa più importante è seguire quanto è stato organizzato, perché se non si seguono i procedimenti pensati non è possibile lavorare. O comunque anche quelli dell'azienda produttrice.
Okay. And then somebody stole my video. But maybe we can show another one this sometime. I think the last one on ADAS was maybe interesting.
Because I showed it because it was very clear. So, this one, this one. This one.
Yeah, for this project, we created a video.
Per questo progetto Erasmus abbiamo creato questi video. Okay. Viene simulato un problema nel sistema radar. E adesso uno studente deve capire qual è il problema. Il video dovrebbe essere sufficientemente chiaro da poter capire. Questo è il problema che appare. Il radar non viene riconosciuto. Il ragazzo controlla con il sistema di diagnosi. Quindi deve controllare tutto seguendo gli step e deve capire dove è il problema. Danno tutto da controllare. Ci sono 4 misurazioni da fare per controllare se la batteria funziona, se il sistema ha il voltaggio adeguato. cosa che fai è controllare la batteria, se è tutto ok. È sufficiente? Il radar è dietro al cofano posteriore, anzi il paraurti. Non c'è voltaggio. Questo per controllare il voltaggio, anche questo ok. E questo non è ok. L'ultimo dovrebbe essere 0. Quindi ora adesso controlla per capire dov'è il problema. Ha trovato il problema e adesso lo risolve. E adesso mostra 3 modi diversi per effettuare la riparazione. Adesso ha ricostruito la connessione. Adesso funziona. Questo è il secondo metodo. E questo è il terzo metodo. Adesso funziona di nuovo, ma deve cancellare dal sistema le paginate precedenti. Poi controlla che il messaggio venga eliminato dall'auto. Ha fatto un ottimo lavoro.
Sono Josephine Larsson, manager del diciamo, Dipartimento Internazionale della Scuola di Göteborg, e Fredrik Annertz è un trainer con particolari competenze sulla fisica, sulla chimica, sulle batterie. Però
Okay, hi, how are you?
Buongiorno, come state?
Awake?
Siete ancora svegli?
Okay, so my name is Josephine Larsson and this is my colleague, Perello. We are from Gothenburg Technical College in Gothenburg, that we saw from before. This is on the west coast of Sweden, 3 hours from our capital, Stockholm, 3 hours from the capital in Norway, Oslo, and also Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. So it's situated in a good place.
Quindi ha spiegato dove si trova Gothenburg, a 3 ore dalle città principali che tutti conosciamo.
We also have a lot of courses.
Anche noi abbiamo molti corsi.
Upper secondary courses, HVAC courses, and also for adults.
Anche noi abbiamo insomma i ragazzi, ma anche gli adulti, quindi come alcune delle situazioni precedenti, anche per noi è così.
We, as well as the other schools that we've heard, have also training for employees, and mainly the reason for that.
Anche noi abbiamo dei corsi per chi sta già lavorando, e la ragione principale per questa situazione.
We are a non-profit school.
Siamo una scuola no profit.
But private school, and we are owned by the Volvo cars.
E noi siamo diciamo, la nostra scuola è della Volvo.
The Volvo Group.
Del gruppo Volvo.
And the city of Gothenburg.
E della città di Gothenburg.
And Volvo Group is represented here by trucks.
Ok,
Yeah.
la Volvo è rappresentata qui, come abbiamo visto precedentemente, dal gruppo Trucks.
But they also have construction equipment, lots Volvo buses, Volvo.
Ma Volvo non è soltanto trucks, è molte altre cose e quindi noi rappresentiamo tutto questo.
But the other company, Volvo Cars, that's where we have our training center, or one of three.
Uno dei nostri 3 centri si trova nella parte di Volvo Automobili.
And the other place is located in the city of Gothenburg, where it's also the place for all training centers and the technical university.
E altri centri si trovano proprio nel centro di Gothenburg, dove si trovano tutti gli altri centri dell'istruzione.
What we do is we train both your age students and older students up to 80. You could be as in Holland, and mainly for technical issues.
Noi ci rivolgiamo come prima a studenti come voi, della vostra età, ma anche agli adulti fino agli 80 anni e ci occupiamo di materie tecniche.
The reason for being here for us is that Sweden is a small country. We are always ranked high on innovation, but we have to work together with the rest of the world.
Il motivo per cui siamo qua è che partecipiamo a questo tipo di progetti e che è vero che il nostro paese è sempre tra i paesi in cui l'innovazione è più importante o maggiormente sviluppata, però siamo un paese piccolo, quindi noi vogliamo collaborare con gli altri stati europei.
These are some of our expertise areas, and this is why this project fits us so well.
Queste sono alcune delle aree in cui noi siamo esperti ed è il motivo per cui questo progetto era perfetto per noi.
Our future students are going to work with somewhere in the industry, but mainly as engineers.
I nostri studenti sono gli ingegneri del futuro.
And what we do is to make this happen in a better way, so we work with a lot of companies.
Per far sì che tutto funzioni al meglio, noi lavoriamo direttamente con molte aziende.
Volvo, of course, but also ABB, SKF, other companies in the, not just industrial, but also companies in the tech area.
Sicuramente Volvo è l'azienda con cui maggiormente collaboriamo, ma non lavoriamo solo con Volvo. Come potete vedere da questi loghi, ci sono molte altre aziende, come ha specificato ABB, SKF e altre.
This place is at the moment are the sites. Volvo Cars, where we have our training centers, are in Torslanda.
Questa è una foto del nostro centro. Which one? In Torslanda.
Do you know the Viking god Thor?
Okay. Il re. Thor.
Thor's landing.
La terra di Thor.
Very Viking-ish.
Yes.
And now I will end. We'll have a short here because I think we're all hungry, and hand over to my colleague Fredrik.
Ora passo la parola al mio collega.
Congratulations to you, the young people. You're in for a hell of a ride. Really interesting. I've more than 40 years of experience as a consultant and engineer, and I have had the time of my life during these last 5 years. I've met more than 1,100 of the Volvo Cars engineers, mainly, some of from Volvo Trucks and some from other car-related companies in Gothenburg. Really extremely interesting.
Ok, vi ha dato il benvenuto nel mondo del futuro che sarà il vostro mondo. Ha detto che nella sua esperienza insomma, lavorativa gli ultimi 5 anni sono stati più emozionanti, immagino per lo sviluppo che si sta avendo in questo periodo. Quindi vi dava il benvenuto in questa emozionante realtà che sicuramente vi troverete a vivere.
So I've been teaching chemistry and physics and applications of those theories in practice. So it's education and training.
Quindi ho messo insieme la chimica, la fisica che ho insegnato da tempo, ma le metto in modo pratico nel modo di insegnare. Quindi non è solo teoria, ma come vengono applicate.
And also as a troubleshooter, all those attendants to those courses have a lot of questions. And as I said, we in our group, we have 56 hours of education in the suite. each container. So it's really interesting to address all those questions. I'm a bit of a consultant still.
A lui, diciamo, piace quando vengono fatte domande, perché le domande danno la possibilità di creare sviluppo, di capire dove sono i problemi, e soltanto le persone, insomma, che sono interessate per davvero partecipano in questo modo al training che ricevono.
So from another tall, blonde guy with beard and glasses, we came from the same production line, I think. Congratulations to choosing a smart career in technology.
Quindi congratulazioni per aver scelto questo tipo di carriera nella tecnologia, detto da due vichinghi biondi.
And lastly, we also want to say that we also send a lot of students around the world, to Australia, to Malaysia, to Italy, to...
Noi partecipiamo anche mandando i nostri studenti all'estero, in Australia, in Malesia, anche in Italia.
We've done this for 20 years and we also accept as many students as we send.
Lo facciamo da 20 anni, ma noi accettiamo anche studenti, quindi se volete partecipare.
And last one, thank you, Serena.
Grazie Serena.
Vorrei presentare anche Simona Perello e Giulia Lugli dell'ITS Maker Academy. La fondazione ITS Maker è a Bologna, ma corsi almeno 15 cresceranno in tutta l'Emilia Romagna e
volevo vedere Serena se funzionava una presentazione che era interessante per i ragazzi.
Nel frattempo inizia a parlare. Ciao ragazzi, ciao a tutti. Noi siamo due coordinatrici di ITS Maker, che è appunto una fondazione che è presente in tutta l'Emilia Romagna. Se non sapete cosa sono gli ITS, vi spiego velocemente. Sono nati nel 2011 per volere del Ministero della Pubblica Istruzione ed è proprio un nuovo orientamento. Cosa, Emilia? Scusate.
Infatti, posso tradurre. They coordinate ITS Maker, which are like companies that again connect the world of work and industry and schools.
E sono nati appunto nel 2011 e a livello sperimentale, perché appunto il Ministero della Pubblica Istruzione voleva che si formassero dei tecnici specializzati nell'ambito del territorio italiano.
We started in 2011 because from the ministry they saw the need to create, to have technicians that are ready for the market, for when they start working.
In Emilia Romagna, appunto, essendo la terra, diciamo, della meccanica e dell'automotive,
Emilia Romagna is the land, the Motor Valley.
E ITS Maker appunto è diciamo la più grande fondazione che si occupa appunto di corsi nella meccanica e nell'automotive.
So ITS Maker is the most important center for mechanical industry.
E abbiamo corsi in automazione, tecnici commerciali sempre nel settore della meccanica, automotive.
We have courses for everything that concerns this sector, so automotive, mechatronics, sales.
E in questo progetto è stato bello partecipare perché siamo partiti con il corso, quindi abbiamo fatto la sperimentazione all'interno del corso tecnico superiore in motori endotermici ed elettrici. E poi negli anni, da quest'anno, abbiamo un nuovo corso che è tecnico superiore in veicoli elettrici e guida assistita.
So we started with very technical courses, and with time we are developing and creating new courses every year, and now we are getting into the e-mobility.
Sono appunto corsi di 2000 ore rivolti a ragazzi. Sono corsi di 2000 ore rivolti a ragazzi già diplomati.
Okay, so our courses are for students with a diploma, so at the end of, when they are 19, 20, that's it.
Esatto, praticamente di 2 anni.
They last 2 years.
e si ha appunto un diploma di specializzazione di tecnico superiore.
And you get a diploma for a specialized in your sector, specialization.
Solitamente iniziano intorno a novembre, fine ottobre ci sono delle selezioni.
There is a selection in October and then they start in November.
Per terminare nel biennio successivo con appunto l'esame di diploma.
And they have an exam and then the diploma after 2 years.
E di queste 2000 ore, 800 ore sono di stage.
Okay. They have 800 hours stage internship.
Quindi anche per noi è fondamentale la parte pratica.
So also for us it's crucial for our students to spend time in the companies.
E altra cosa innovativa rispetto, diciamo, ai percorsi della scuola superiore è che i docenti sono docenti del mondo del lavoro.
Our teachers are not teachers, but they come from companies.
E università e anche scuole superiori.
Or high schools, so teachers.
Abbiamo anche all'interno dei percorsi, oltre a questa parte di stage che logicamente è molto pratica, anche delle attività laboratoriali durante le restanti ore.
So we have a bit of everything, theory, but also workshops and a lot of practical activities.
Ok. Cosa possiamo
Volevo
dire?
chiedere
Ai ragazzi,
perché comunque i nostri corsi si rivolgono soprattutto diciamo così, alla vostra tipologia di studenti. Che scuola fate? Che indirizzo siete?
So she's asking them what they do, what they study.
Meccanica. Ok.
It's
ok, quindi siete...
Vocational Technical School it is.
Non so se ci conoscete. Noi abbiamo anche una sede a Fornovo dove c'è appunto il tecnico superiore per quanto riguarda la stampa 3D e tutta la parte
3D printing
additive
in
manufacturing.
Sì, materiali compositi, esatto. Sì. Diciamo che ci rivolgiamo soprattutto a voi se siete interessati a continuare gli studi dopo questa esperienza. Che anno siete delle superiori? Quinta, ok, perfetto, quindi quest'anno dovete scegliere, ok. E noi siamo un'opportunità a chi vuole continuare a studiare, chi vuole prendere una specializzazione senza, diciamo così, doversi iscrivere e affrontare gli anni dell'università.
So basically they were promoting the opportunity to get a specialized diploma without having to go to university.
Anche noi diamo opportunità ai ragazzi di fare le loro esperienze all'estero.
We also support and promote abroad periods
attraverso appunto l'Erasmus.
With Erasmus projects.
E ci sono anche, c'è anche la possibilità di specializzarsi, di fare un minimo di specializzazione della lingua l'estate. Ogni anno ci sono delle ore dedicate anche a questo tramite sempre borse di studio dedicate.
Every year they can get the opportunity to focus also on the language, so to combine experiences abroad and improve their language skills.
Per voi è finito, dovete tornare in classe. In bocca al lupo allora per gli esami di maturità.
Per la scelta.
E per la scelta futura.
Ciao ragazzi, arrivederci.
Ok.
That's it.
Sì, tanto loro ci
And the video is, because it was a video especially for the students to understand what to choose, what possibilities they could have, but by perfect time. It's okay. We should start with the video, but it's too late now. Okay.
Okay, so what time is it? 12:30?
35.
Yes, we have lunch.
Anche questo non penso fosse
in the porch. so maybe Michael can walk you. But we can just stay 15 minutes here, maybe go into the toilet or making calls or whatever, checking your emails. So, because they are preparing the porch with food, so we still have to wait for
a break.
For a while. Just
A break.
15 minutes.
Serena, a break.
The break.
Thank you.
Consigliare un po'.